Welcome to Fast Effect, and this is a very special episode here. We've got the Goblin King himself, Mark, returning with his leather playmat from when he bested me in a Pauper event. That's right, with Goblins in Pauper even, leading out with an Aether Vial. Actually, I believe he's won a mat with Legacy, Pauper, Old School. I mean, there's a few. Like, he's definitely done quite well with Goblins in all of the formats. And we've got a Goblin Pile Driver getting fatally pushed. And that's why the card fell out of favor for quite a while. The 1-for-1 trades, not really feeling great for Goblins. Baleful Strix, one of the reasons why you want to run Goblin Pile Driver. And now Skirk Prospector. Prospector, a really tricky card to play around. There are times where getting a creature out of the combat situation can be a huge problem. And of course, things like Pashalic Mons can translate into all sorts of extra triggers. The mana boost also complicates things. Tony on Bug Smog, and he's going to have to contend with a little bit of removal. Not as much as... certainly not as much as playing against Burn, but there could certainly be Gem Palm Incinerator, or more likely, the Munitions Expert looking to take down any type of Witherbloom Apprentice after Chain of Smog wreaks some havoc. Sacking for a Muxus. Costs one less because of War Chief. Skirk Prospector gets you the one. Those 4 lands are getting converted into a Muxus. Will Tony have a response, or is this just going to get absolutely crazy with a bunch of hasty goblins? Abrupt Decay is at least going to hope to stop the haste. And what do we have here? 3 goblins brought to the yard by Muxus. We got Slingang Lieutenant stacking up some bodies here. Couple of 1/1 tokens. And then Matron, which can go get Ringleader. And now not Gem Palm, but Munitions Expert, clearing the Baleful Strix, and mercifully no longer hasty. So Tony survives a turn. He brainstorms, and he's going to be getting hit real hard here. This might actually be lethal. Haven't done Goblin math in a while with the Goblin King. Been off camera for quite some time. Great to have him back. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, they can all be sacked to drain life as well, thanks to the Slingang Lieutenant. This is likely lethal. Yeah, Muxus gets it. Is it the ETB or when it attacks? I haven't looked at that card in a while. But he's a big boy, and he does get bigger. I mean, I believe this is looking at being lethal. Ringleader finds is that a Pashalic Mons? Oh. It's graphic. Goblin Lackey. And Pashalic Mons, and that's just going to double up these sacrifice triggers from the Slingang Lieutenant as everything's turning sideways. A huge chunk of damage going to be coming off of Tony's life, and then everything else will be Slingang and Pashalic Mons teaming up, as that is just an overwhelming victory. Things spiraling out of control on the back of that Muxus. I mean, it wasn't even the craziest flips that you can get, but that is enough value to take that one down for sure. All right. Ponder for Tony. Tropical Island. And now Basic Mountain into the Aether Vial. Those dual lands, not super vulnerable. I mean, there is Wasteland on the other side of the board, but it's not typical to be running against things like Magus of the Moon or Blood Moon out of Goblins. It's a card they could run. It's just not super common. Rashad Port and Wasteland tend to be the go-to option for hassling your opponent's mana base. I mean, it's no small thing to have Munitions Expert and Sling Gang Lieutenant be castable without necessarily having to fetch a basic, and then of course there's Cavern of Souls being uncounterable. I mean, Blood Moon is a card that some control decks might even consider bringing in against Goblins. I think you'd probably be happier if it was a back to basics, but it is a possibility. Cavern of Souls is quite a menace, as is Aether Vial. Having a fistful of counters often is just rubbish against Goblins, as they're able to just easily play directly through them. Just walking right past cards like Force of Will. And now Euro coming down, making a land drop, gaining some life, and that's a dangerous situation. This 6/6 body is not to be taken lightly, and the card draw and life gain that he provides also very significant. At this point, the extra land drops, not necessarily super important, but it does play out much better than being land light when your opponent has a Rashad Port. At this point, it basically just tells Mark it's not even worth using the Rashad Port. It's not where you want to be. Still going to have enough mana to escape Euro, even with the port. Oh, wow. It's going to go ahead and Abrupt Decay instead. That's a little surprising. I mean, if you're greedy, it's possible that you can actually hit your land off of your Euro land drop and then do both. We'll see if this ends up biting him or not. Sling Gang Lieutenant, uncounterable. Not really the strongest card in this situation, but there's a lot of value in being able to block Euro and then sack as far as keeping Mark in the game. It's a lot of card advantage to cede to your opponent, letting them draw an extra card with each attack step, but honestly, Goblins can make it up, and in an uncounterable fashion thanks to Cavern of Souls. Ooh. Pyroblast. And now Fatal Push. Oh, he fetched? He must have fetched. Trying to figure out how the Fatal Push actually took out the higher casting cost Sling Gang Lieutenant. But I believe he did fetch earlier in that turn, and I just missed it. We've got a couple of 1/1s. Not nearly as impressive without the Sling Gang. Oh, and Muxus off the top rope here. What do we got? Oh, just a terrible one. Just a Matron, but that can get another Muxus if he's running it. That's a lot better than just completely whiffing. And no, he's going to grab the Ringleader, so I'm not sure. Perhaps there's another Muxus in hand, or perhaps not seeing the value in going that route. I think I probably would have grabbed another Muxus, but we'll see. Baleful Strix. Ready to trade with the largest of the Goblins. But perhaps Ringleader can find a friend here. Help deal with this situation. Oh, there's a Muxus. So to answer the question, there was one left in the library, but Mark opting instead for the ringleader. And now Munitions Expert is attempting to remove Baleful Strix. Tony's got something to say about it. Brazen Borrower. Ooh. Ooh. He bounced Muxus. It's a little bit of a meme play here. I think that's perhaps time to throw in the towel. Oh no, does he have it? Chain of Smog plus Witherbloom Apprentice. And he's got the KO. Brazen Borrower buying just enough time. Bouncing Muxus. Looks like it's going to come down the next turn, but Bug Smog does what it's designed to do for the first time in this match. And now Mark knows exactly what's going on as we head into Game 3. Oh, wow. That is a spectacular finish to that game, and it's got to sting when you've got that Munitions Expert. You have the ability to break up that Chain of Smog situation, and I think Mark likely to really value the Munitions Expert / Gem Palm Incinerators that he might have in hand. Make sure that he can actually utilize that to get rid of the Witherbloom Apprentice after, of course, Tony uses the Chain of Smog on himself, is hellbent, goes to do it again, and then respond by just getting rid of the Witherbloom and leaving him with absolutely nothing. All right, let's see how this last one goes. All right, Bloodstained Mire for Mark, fetching the Badlands. Will it be an Aether Vial? Will it be a Goblin Lackey? Vial again. Tough to say which is actually more dangerous in this matchup. I mean, it'd be interesting to see an analysis over time in terms of win percentage based off of having those cards in the opener. And wow, double Vial hand. This is a tough call. Let me know in the comments what you would take. Vial is the choice. That is my feeling on that one. But he leaves him with all of these goblins, so Tony's going to need... Oh, and the other land off the top. Perfect. Leaving Munitions Experts available for whenever. Yeah, Tony cannot goof around here. He does need some type of clock. Mark already has everything in his hand that he would need to win the game. It will eventually allow Aether Vial to tick up, go get a more powerful card, either Ringleader or Muxus, and just continue going. I mean, this is a very dangerous situation, and you can't just give the Goblin King all day. Now, fortunately for Tony, very little pressure from this hand. There's a couple of good answers, but very little pressure. There'll be a Mother of Runes coming down. Not Mother of Runes. Goblin Matron. That's a mistake only a Magic player could make. And I guess only one that thinks kindly of goblins as well. We got Black-Blue Snapcaster into a Thoughtseize. And that is going to put in a Munitions Expert, which I don't love. Matron's taken. Yeah, I'm not on board there. We'll see how this plays out. I mean, it definitely feels bad to not have any clock on board, but I think that gets reversed pretty quickly with the Sling Gang Lieutenant. Witherbloom Apprentice. And he is just going to hold down the fort. Or she, I think. I feel like that's got feminine art. Three cards in hand. And that other munitions expert would have been welcome to be in hand. Fatal push. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you need a bunch of goblins. It's such a given in any normal game. Yeah, having multiple munitions experts with the mana to cast them gets a little bit more interesting. You can cast one, put the trigger on the stack, respond, cast another one. And then it's much harder to break up with removal. Right now the shields are down. Munitions expert swinging for one. If Tony can assemble the combo again, he'll be all set. Presumably having the Chain of Smog already in hand. Now, Sling Gang Lieutenant hopping in there. Now establishing a much more legitimate clock. 4 damage a turn. And Abrupt Decay takes down the Aether Vial, which at this point has largely done its damage. 4 damage coming across, and there's another 4 life loss that can happen at any time. Goblin Lackey, moving it up to 5 damage at a time. Witherbloom Apprentice, Chain of Smog. And that is going to do it. No more munitions experts left as Chain of Smog gets one. I think that's the first time that we've got to see that on the channel. And, you know, that is one of the things about playing against this type of deck. It sometimes takes some reps for people to really understand the lines. It does seem to me like you really need that removal for when they go for it. And that seems like that would have been the difference in that match. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.